Alright, now we'll talk about principle of conservation of angular momentum. Now let us once again see how angular momentum of a particle is defined. Now suppose I have this point over here O. Let us say it is the origin, and I have a particle over here of mass m. It is moving with some linear momentum p in this direction. So at this instant r is the position vector of the particle. Now angular momentum of that particle is defined as r cross p. Okay? So this was for one particle. Now suppose we have an entire body made up of large number of particles, and I have to find out its angular momentum about a point over here, let us say O. So again this is the origin, and this body can have any random motion in any sense. Okay. Now again this is made up of large number of particles. Now each and every particle will have its own angular momentum about that point. So angular momentum of this entire body will be nothing but summation of all the angular momentums of those particles, right? So angular momentum of that entire body will be nothing but summation of angular momentum of all the particles. So this can be written as summation of r cross p. So let us say Ri cross Pi, where I varies from 1 to n. Okay, so let us say there are n number of particles. Okay. Now let us differentiate this with respect to time, and let us see what we get. So dl by dt will be nothing but summation of I varies from 1 to n d by dt Ri cross Pi. Now here we will use product rule of the derivative. What is that? duv by dt will be what? First term into derivative of second plus second term into derivative of first. Right? Okay. In the same way, we will apply that over here. But we have to take care that the order is not changed. Now look here. So this will be dl by dt is nothing but summation of I varies from 1 to n d by dt. Sorry, dri by dt, derivative of first term, cross the second term plus the first term cross the derivative of the second term. Okay? Now we know what is dr by dt, rate of change of position vector. It is nothing but the instantaneous velocity of that particle. So I can write this as vi cross. Now what is pi? It will be nothing but mi into vi. Mi vi plus ri cross. What is dpi by dt? What is the rate of change of momentum? It is nothing but the force, Newton's second law. Ri cross fi. Okay? Now look over here, this cross product. Now what will be the magnitude of this v into mv sine of theta, where theta is the angle between these two vectors. Now these two are the same vectors, vi. So the angle between them will be 0. Sine of 0 is 0. So this is nothing but 0. What we are left is nothing but ri cross fi. Okay? Now what is ri cross fi, or what is r cross f? About this point O, it will be nothing but torque acting on that particle about that point O, and summation of the torques acting on all the particles will be nothing but the total torque acting on the body. Getting this? Okay. So dl by dt is nothing but the torque acting on the body. Fine? Okay. Now look here. This is the force acting on the ith particle. Now this force will be again the resultant of external as well as internal forces acting on that particle. Now, all the torques due to all the internal forces will cancel each other. Why? Because of Newton's third law. The forces will be equal and opposite and lying along the same line, and hence torque due to all the internal forces will cancel each other, and hence this torque will be nothing but due to only the external forces. So this is the external torque acting on the body. So dl by dt has come out to be equal to the external torque acting on the body. Now once again, this torque is measured from this point O. Okay? Okay. Now look here. If this external torque is 0, if tau external is 0, then dl by dt will be also 0. Right? dl by dt will be also 0. Then L will be what? L will be constant. Okay? So if dl by dt is equal to 0, then L is constant. That is obvious. Now look here, take this example. If x is equal to t square, I say t is time. Okay? Let us say if x is equal to t square. Now that means as time is changing, the value of x is changing, and its derivative will be what with respect to time? Dx by dt is equal to 2t. So x is not constant, right? X is changing with respect to time. But if I say x is equal to 2, then even if time changes, x will remain 2 because it is a constant. So dx by dt will be nothing but equal to 0. Or we can say if dx by dt is 0, that means x must be some constant number. In the same way, if tau external is 0, that means dl by dt is equal to 0. That means L must be some constant number. Getting this? Okay. So this was a general derivation. Now let us see if the body is rotating about a fixed axis, about this axis. Then the derivation becomes much simpler. Now in that case, L will be what? Written as I into omega. We have done this derivation, where I is the moment of inertia of the body about that axis. Right? Now let us differentiate it with respect to time. dl by dt. Now since I is constant for that particular case, I can be taken outside. So d omega by dt. Now d omega by dt is nothing but angular acceleration alpha. So dl by dt, it will be nothing but I into alpha. And we know what is I into alpha. I into alpha is nothing but the torque acting on the body about that axis. So I into alpha is nothing but torque. So have you got the same result? dl by dt is nothing but the torque acting on the body. Over here we can also say external torque acting on the body. Getting this? Okay. Now look here. This has some interesting results. So as we have seen that if torque is 0, if external torque is 0, then L is constant. So this is nothing but the principle of conservation of angular momentum, which says that if the external torque acting on the body is 0, its angular momentum is conserved. Now angular momentum is nothing but I into omega. So if L is constant, I can say L1 is equal to L2. That means I1 omega 1 will be equal to I2 omega 2. So if tau is 0, this product I omega will remain constant. So if I increases, omega will decrease, or if omega increases, I will decrease. Okay? Now check this example. Alright. Now let us say see one example. Now suppose there is a person and his hands is outstretched like this, and he is standing on a table that is rotating. So this person will also rotate about this axis of rotation. Now it will have certain angular velocity, let us say omega 1. It will have certain moment of inertia, MIRS square, summation of MIRS square, that we have studied. So let us say moment of inertia at this position is I1. ठीक है. Okay. Now, what will happen if he brings his arms closer to his body? Then his moment of inertia will decrease, right? Because now the distribution of mass from the axis of rotation is at a lesser distance, so its moment of inertia will decrease. So when he brings his arms close to the body, then the moment of inertia of the body will be different, and its angular momentum will be also different. I'm sorry. His angular velocity will be also different, right? Now look here. Now, since there is no external torque acting on the body during this process, that means tau external is equal to 0, then L1 will be equal to L2. So I1 omega 1 will be equal to I2 omega 2. Now over here I was greater, there is certain omega. Over here I was lesser, so omega will be greater. Okay? So in this position he will rotate with a greater angular velocity now compared to this position. And once again when he will outstretch his arms, his I will increase and omega will decrease. Okay? Now this is our daily experience. You can check it. Nowadays we have a rotating chair. So ask one of your friend to just rotate the chair while you are sitting on the chair. So when you will outstretch your hands, the angular velocity of the entire system, including you and the chair, will decrease. And when you bring your arm closer, then the angular velocity will increase. Okay? Or you must have also seen the ballet dancers. To increase their rotation speed, they bring their arms close to their body, right? Getting this? So these are the examples of the conservation of angular momentum. Fine? Okay. Now just put the heading principle of conservation of angular momentum. And then write down consider a particle of mass m having linear momentum p bar. Its position vector with respect to origin is r bar. Angular momentum of that particle will be r cross p bar. Differentiate this with respect to time. So dl by dt is nothing but d by dt r cross p. So as we have discussed, this will be nothing but dr by dt cross p plus r cross dp by dt. Now dr by dt is nothing but the velocity. P can be written as mv plus r cross dp by dt is nothing but the force acting on that particle, right? dl by dt, right? So this is nothing but 0. So dl by dt is equal to 0 plus torque, because r cross f is nothing but the torque acting on that particle. So dl by dt is nothing but the torque acting on the particle, right? Okay. Below that, write down in the same way, even for system of particles in bracket or body, we can show dl by dt is equal to the torque acting on the body. So dl by dt is equal to tau external. Okay. Now below that, write down if tau external is equal to 0, dl by dt will be equal to 0, therefore L will be equal to constant. Fine. So below that write down the principle of conservation of angular momentum states that if external torque acting on the body is 0, its angular momentum is conserved. Fine. So this is the statement. So since L is constant and L is equal to I omega, I can say I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. Fine. So I hope you have understood about the principle of conservation of angular momentum. And now this was its derivation. And regarding the examples of conservation of angular momentum, you can write down the examples in your own words. Okay? Okay, chalo. Thank you.